Now, recently, everyone's been talking about the new live-action Kakagiri series called Bet that's to come to Netflix soon. And the casting is just terrible. Absolutely terrible. Egregious and stuff. Even when they have Yumiko's character, it's terrible. The main male character is not the main male character, of course. What do you expect from Netflix? Netflix always had this thing where it just can't help itself. They can't, for a thing that's always about a culture appropriation, they never seem to do it. They always gotta change something up. Like you got the live action version in Japan, which actually follows everything what it's supposed to, but it doesn't do that. And this is the reason why more and more people are going to anime because the thing you don't understand about this is that people like things because they read the manga or they watch the anime and stuff. They have good memories of these things. So when you see someone make an adaptation of it, whether it's a manga or light novel, turns into an anime, people look forward to it because it'll follow the source material, it'll follow the characters. They want to see what they experienced through the books to happen in motion. That's what they want. That's why people love it so much. They love it when it's beautifully animated, well directed, well paced. Like Mushoku Tensei, ReZero. Sure, they'll leave some things out here and there, but that's what it's called an adaptation. It's not going to have everything, but just enough for you to follow the story. That is great. So, it is something that I believe that the West continues to fail to do after all these years, where it's like it's really allergic to following source material. It doesn't want to do that. But this is just about the Kakaguri live action, the Bet show. This goes all the way back. I was thinking, when Netflix first started, it was a service where you can have your movies and stuff delivered to you, you know, in TV shows. You go online and order it and stuff like that. This was a way where you didn't have to go to Blockbuster, go search for Blockbuster. But tell you the truth, I did Blockbuster because you could at least go there, look at the DVD or the VHS, look at the back cover, read a synopsis and stuff, and talk or see a trailer and stuff like that. Or you could rent a video game. It was very fun. And then they also created GameFly, where you can also ask to deliver games, but GameFly did not work out because GameFly was too expensive to deliver video games to people. And they would sometimes keep it compared to movies, because video games were more expensive than movies. So there's that. But anyways, sooner or later, Netflix became a streaming service, and it was showing a lot of reruns, a lot of old shows, and we enjoyed that. We were binging the crap out of those old shows back in the day, and the licensing wasn't as crazy as it is today. So you had almost everything on Netflix, and then that's when other companies started doing their own licensing streaming services, and then more stuff started leaving Netflix. Heck, Netflix used to run Marvel shows on it back in the day. It used to have the Disney stuff. It actually had a lot of anime back in the day. But, like I said, when the other streaming services pack up, they lost it all. So they're like, okay, we gotta make our own stuff. Sure, they'll bring Korean stuff, some Japanese stuff, but they need to make their own stuff. But it's around 2016 or 17 is where the first, I believe, live action of anime they did, and that was with Death Note series, a very highly controversial Death Note series, where the only good thing about that thing wasn't a series, of the movie. The only good thing about that was Ryuk being played by Willem Dafoe. That was the only good thing about that. Willem Dafoe played an excellent Ryuk. Everything else sucked. Light did not act like Light. He was terrible. The thing that people love about Light is that he was this honored student who looked down on everybody. And he was extremely smart, extremely talented, perfect family, everything. But he thought the world could be better, so he wanted to become a god with a death note. Not because some girl or anything like that. He was this top dude, but of course, Americans can't seem to get that through their heads. It's amazing how they do that. It's like you gotta turn him into some loser who gets bullied and stuff, and he's hiding his potential, and he's doing things for some girl. Like, can you break out that mold? Westerners and just do something like that. That's all you gotta do. I'm not even saying you have to do it about life. Then of course there's the Lupin thing. Yeah, that's right. There's a Lupin on there. People are like, is that Lupin? Yes, yes, it is. They did a little spin on it. So don't worry about that. It is what it is. But not just live action, but also animated series. Castlevania, the Devil May Cry series, the Tomb Raider series. You know, these are all like what Capcom and stuff. And as you can tell, when you watch them, where you think they're well designed, well animated, it sucks. It really sucks. It don't bring the characters in. The creators just pick and choose stuff they like from those series, and they just put it into their own little show, and say, "This is my spin on it," and that is it. Which is sad because Netflix used to make original stuff. You know, they're the ones that did Orange is the New Black. Remember, everyone was talking about that. Everyone was talking about Stranger Things, Cobra Kai. But as you can see, no one talks about Netflix original shows anymore. Instead, they're mostly dogged on the shows that they try to recreate all the time, you know? And it really, really sucks. And it's like, it just makes no sense. Not to mention, they're doing Wednesday. Wednesday has some popular reception, but if you haven't noticed, way back in the day, Wednesday wasn't always this mean girl. Everyone got the Addams Family Wednesday by the movie, so because they like that version better. But originally, she was actually a sweet girl who just liked very creepy things, and that's what made her different. If you ask me, that would make more sense because imagine you seeing this nice little girl being surrounded by creepy things and doing creepy things. It made more sense than her just being mean, so we expect her to have doing mean and terrible things is to be expected. So it kind of killed the way the entertainment of Wednesday, in my opinion. If people watch the original Addams Family, and then they did Annie over Eve, which was very depressing and stuff, which was like, this is not my freaking Anna Green Gables, okay? Like, you guys couldn't do that. You're like, this is my spin on it, everybody. But then, luckily for us, Japan is recreating Anna Green Gables right now, this season, called Anne Shirley, which I already did a must watch on it, which I am loving so far. It's well animated, well paced, and it's going to adapt everything all the way up to achieve as an adult. So there we go with that, baby. But with this, what Netflix doing with Kakaguri and stuff like that, it's like people are asking, why is this happening? Why do we get all these things, these terrible adaptations, these terrible castings? And if you want to do a live action adaptation, why not do it right? And the simple term is this: fan fiction. All of this so far since 2016 has been nothing but fan fiction. That's all it is. It's freaking fan fiction. You know, a bunch of people who grew up with Tumblr, DeviantArt, who watched this stuff or wasn't interested in this stuff, want to create their own scripts, but they suck, create their own fan fiction. And then as they grew up, they found jobs into these companies. And then instead of writing their own stuff, because they can't, because it sucks most of the time when they try to write their own stuff, just like with CW22, which is a bunch of Tumblr people over there, they went over and said, okay, I'm going to take my story and I'm going to create my fan fiction of this original IP. That's all it is. Heck, my friend even once said before, most of these people who want to become big writers can't become it because they know their stuff sucks. So instead, they just take products where it's already have an existing IP and reimagines it all the time. So that's why you get stuff from the CW and stuff here on Netflix. The casting, the way the characters act, from the plot. Like, the plot is nothing like the actual shows or the movies or the games you got them from. They're completely different because this is all fan fiction. For almost the past decade, it's been nothing but fan fiction from Tumblr. That's all it is. It's ridiculous, and I can't stand it, man. I don't have a Netflix account really because we just use our brother's account and stuff. So he gave us that along with his Disney Plus. The only account I have really is Paramount Plus because it aligns with my company, but that's it. Everything else and of course I have Amazon because I do Amazon Prime, but that's it. You know, that's I don't have anything else because this stuff is terrible. I am so tired of these things. People say, "Oh, why not just ignore it?" You can always have your stuff. It's true, but that's not the case. And people always try to use that as a scapegoat to say, "Oh, get over it." But no, no, because you give these people power. You give these people the continue to do these terrible things to these IPs. You know, it goes further, and I could go further when you try to compare it to the religion stuff that's going on. But no, I won't do that. Even though I want to, but it just drives people. 'Cause imagine something that you like and you grew up with, and it helped define you or build you in a way, and you're seeing someone over there just bastardizing it constantly, But it's just fiction, yeah. But it is important to you because you grew up with it, you like it and stuff. But now you're seeing it, and you're seeing how they're just tearing it apart. Hey, like I said before, they did the same thing with He-Man. They did the same thing with She-Ra. They take these series and they tear them apart terribly, and they just want you to sit there and deal with it because hey, it's just a show, but it's more than a show. It's something you grew up with. So seeing it like that, it just really, really sucks in a way, and I can't stand it. So that's my thing about Netflix right now. That's the reason what's going on with Netflix for the past decade. It's just been a bunch of Tumblr fan fiction. A bunch of people crawl their way into the industry, got in these positions of power, and now they're writing whatever they want with whatever IP they are given, and that is it. Why won't they create their own stuff? I already said it. Because it sucks. They know they're not good writers. They know they suck at writing. They just don't have the opportunity. Just like Adi Shankar, the guy who did the Devil May Cry series. Why not just create your own thing? Create your own thing, I don't call you a visionary if you can't create your own thing. How are you a visionary? You're just a mimic. It's all you are, is a freaking mimic. You go around, you see something that someone's already created, and it's already established, that's well known, and you're all you're doing is taking your own fiction about it. That is not visionary. That is a fraud. Okay, you're just a dork. But anyways, that's all I got for this video. I just really wanted to make this rant, and it's just been on my mind lately. Ever since I saw the Kakaguri thing, I've been asking why all this been happening, and now you know why. It's ridiculous. So anyways, with that being said, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you did, like, comment, subscribe, and of course, hit that bell icon. This has the background on Anime. Signing out.